I'm not talking out of school, but have you ever thought about trying out for the men's curling team? I mean, you look a little bit like that guy.
I definitely fit the bill for what the team wants to look like.
Yeah, I mean, the guy kind of looks like my uncle who, like on the holidays, probably drinks too much, and he's like the black sheep of the family.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I definitely feel like I could just walk right in there and be confused for an Olympic curling team member.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Ross Newton from Crowdpurr.com. I'm the CEO, and welcome to the weekly Crowdpurr Trivia Show, where we highlight the best trivia questions from our 100% original new database of trivia games that we bring you every single week on the best hosting platform in the world for trivia, which is Crowdpurr.com. With me is the one and only Philip Trickey from Seattle, Washington.
Hello.
New to the Crowdpurr team as of a few weeks ago and has been holding down the reins on the trivia. How are you doing? What's on your mind this week?
I'm doing great. Not much on my mind this week. I've been watching as much of the Olympics as I possibly can.
Right.
I downloaded an app so I could do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Got the Peacock thing going so I could watch the Olympics.
Oh, nice. That's where we saw curling, and we were talking about that and how wild. Does anybody actually know the rules of curling?
I think a lot of Canadians and people from the northern states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, where it's popular, they would know the rules.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch it without knowing the rules. I mean, you just knock those little pucks around or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's really kind of it's a lot of fun to not know the rules. Just go in it kind of blind, but. Could be worse.
Speaking of not knowing the rules and not knowing the rules, Winter Olympics is a category this week on trivia database, right?
It is. Okay. We've got several new games this week. Winter Olympics is one of them. We've got Royalty and World Leaders, a game about jungles. Okay. Got all sorts of cool stuff that we're going to get into.
Nice. So we're just going to hit you with these 15 questions from these categories, and those of you who love podcasts about trivia, that's what we're going to do every single week. So make sure you like and subscribe at the end, and just know that all of these games and all these questions are live in the Crowdpurr database, and these are the ones that came out on Monday.
Yeah, so all the categories are going to have their own individual game, but what we've done here is just taken a few questions from each original game this week, put them together for this. So we've got 15 questions. It's kind of like a grab bag of what we have to offer this week.
Nice.
And they're always going to be there, so that you don't have to play them just this week. You'll be able to access them on the database anytime.
Sure.
These are just the new ones that we've got this week.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, let's kick it off.
You ready to play some trivia?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. All right, here we go. Question 1. France, Great Britain, and which other country are the only 3 countries that have competed at every Summer and Winter Olympics? A, Austria, B, Sweden, C, Germany, and D, Switzerland.
Out of all those, I've only ever been to Germany, which I went to for 2 weeks once for work. And because it was work, there was not a lot of schnitzel or beer drinking or beer houses or St. Pauli's girls. So yeah.
There was some, just not as much as you wanted.
Yeah, none hanging around with me that week. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So again, we've got A, Austria, B, Sweden, C, Germany, or D, Switzerland. And I'm going to say the answer is D, Switzerland.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so France, Great Britain, and Switzerland are the only 3 countries to have competed at all of the different Olympics.
Okay.
Summer and winter.
Good to know.
Yeah. Another Winter Olympics question here. Question 2. Which opera singer's final public performance occurred during the opening ceremonies of the 2006 Torino Olympic Games? A, Luciano Pavarotti, B, Jose Carreras, C, Placido Domingo, D, Franco Corelli.
I am not real savvy on opera singers. If it were hair band singers like Vince Neil, Bret Michaels, Axl Rose, I might have known. But opera is not my vibe.
Maybe in the 2024 games.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just pleased that I pronounced all of them hopefully correctly. Again, which opera singer's final public performance occurred during the opening ceremonies of the 2006 Torino Olympic Games? A, Luciano Pavarotti, B, Jose Carreras, C, Placido Domingo, or D, Franco Corelli? You got a guess?
D, I have no idea.
All right, the answer is A, Luciano Pavarotti.
Pavarotti, okay.
Yeah, and a little fun fact is he lip-synced his performance because it was so cold that it made it impossible for him to sing live.
Oh, I saw that in the question notes this week, and I'm thinking like, come on, that's a bit of a diva thing. People can sing in the cold weather. Since when does cold air affect your voice? Am I crazy? I'm not a singer.
I'm not a singer either, so I don't know.
So we truly don't know.
We truly are completely unaware.
That's my layman interpretation of that.
Yeah. Moving on. All right, next question. Question 3. I'm putting these questions in because Lady Gaga, who was rumored to possibly be nominated for an Oscar last week, did not get an Oscar nomination.
For House of Gucci.
For House of Gucci.
Okay. Yep.
So we threw a couple questions all about Lady Gaga in here.
Cool. Excellent.
All right, question 3. Lady Gaga has a tattoo of what on her right arm? The tattoo was drawn by legendary singer Tony Bennett. A, trumpet. B, musical notes. C, microphone. Or D, treble clef.
There's no E, marijuana leaf?
There is not.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if Lady Gaga's a marijuana smoker.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. She's never really promoted anything like that. But
no, I don't think so. And I'm not that familiar with her tattoos.
Okay.
But again,
but apparently somebody on the Crowdpurr
Trivia team is, yes. Okay. So again, question 3. Lady Gaga has a tattoo of what on her right arm? Drawn by legendary singer Tony Bennett. A, trumpet. B, musical notes. C, microphone. Or D, treble clef. I never would have guessed this, but the answer is A, trumpet.
A trumpet, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Gaga and Bennett have recorded a few albums together, I believe. They have a lot of affection for each other.
Yeah,
he's an artist, like a painter in his time when he's not singing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he drew a trumpet, and she got it tattooed on her right arm.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. What better way to say I love you? Forever.
Right.
So question 4. Which 2008 album features Lady Gaga's first hit song, which was Just Dance? A, Art Pop. B, Born This Way. C, The Fame Monster. Or D, The Fame.
Because there was the Fame and the Fame Monster.
Right, The Fame and The Fame Monster.
Yeah. Those were like the golden days of Lady Gaga.
Yeah, that's when people were just discovering her.
A bunch of big hits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, which 2008 album features Lady Gaga's first hit song, Just Dance? A, Art Pop. B, Born This Way. C, The Fame Monster. Or D, The Fame.
I might know this one. I won't give you my answer.
It was on D, The Fame.
There you go. Okay.
So
Nice.
technically it was also on The Fame Monster, but the first release of it was on The Fame in 2008.
That's the only one that came out in 2008.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to watch that on some of our questions. There might be a detail in there that some savvy trivia player may say, wait a second, that was remixed on The Fame Monster. And as a trivia host, you say, no, it wasn't. It was 2008 in the question. So
right.
there it is.
We're looking at the first release of
Sometimes
it.
we do that in our questions. We kind of throw,
Not the re-release.
Okay.
Moving on. Next couple of questions are coming from our In the Jungle game.
Good general game about, a central kind of topic.
Yeah, jungles, rainforests, and whatnot.
Okay.
Question 5. Which continent is home to the Daintree rainforest, a section of the oldest surviving tropical rainforest in the world? A, Africa. B, Asia. C, Australia. Or D, North America.
Did you say Daintree?
Daintree.
Daintree, okay.
Yeah, Daintree.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah, it's named for the geologist, Richard Daintree.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
All right, which continent is home to the Daintree rainforest, a section of the oldest surviving tropical rainforest in the world? A, Africa. B, Asia. C, Australia. Or D, North America? The answer surprised me. It's C, Australia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think Australia has this reputation for being just a desert and a vast sort of wasteland, but it has has a very large rainforest, the Daintree rainforest.
Wow, who knew? That's a good one.
And it's one of the oldest in the world.
When I think Australia, I think desert, I think kangaroos, I don't think jungles, so yeah.
Crocodile Dundee is basically the first thing I think of with Australia every time I hear the name. Moving on. I got a little creative with this one and thought kind of outside the box with this question.
Okay. Hit me with it.
It is The Jungle.
Okay.
So The Jungle by Upton Sinclair
Oh.
is actually about inhumane and unsafe working conditions in which industry in 19th century Chicago? A, railroad, B, meatpacking, C, steel, or D, coal?
Okay. And we know it's not the oil industry because that was what his book Oil was about,
Right.
which was the basis for one of your favorite movies,
For my absolute all-time favorite movie,
which
There Will Be
is
Blood.
There Will Be Blood, right.
Right.
Drink your milkshake, Paul Dano going off. It's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. We could write a whole trivia game about There Will Be Blood.
We
right?
could, and I have played it in my head thousands of times.
Yeah. And we have talked about a PTA trivia game, Paul Thomas Anderson. So if you want to see that, go out to the forums and throw that on the trivia games that we want to see topic, because we watched that. We weren't sure if the crowd, if our host would if PTA was broad enough, to be good for a lot of different trivia applications. Let us know, because we always want your feedback and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I'm sure you would love to write a PTA game.
I would love it.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time is PTA's Boogie Nights. So Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I don't think he's made a bad one yet.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say that, but
All right. Again, the question 6, The Jungle by Upton Sinclair is actually about inhumane and unsafe working conditions in which industry in 19th century Chicago? A, railroad, B, meatpacking, C, steel, or D, coal? It was actually B, the meatpacking industry.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He wrote it, Upton Sinclair wanted to promote socialism in the United States and wrote this basically to bring awareness to the treatment of the workers. But the public, what they took out of it was that the food was tainted and that there was very unsanitary conditions, and it actually led to the passing of the Meat Inspection Act in 1906.
Did you actually read the book?
I've never read the book.
Okay. Did you read Oil?
Nope,
Okay. Have you read anything by Upton Sinclair?
I have not.
Okay.
There is actually a copy of The Jungle on my bookshelf, but it has remained unread and has made the trip with me across the country when I moved. It's made several trips.
Those are the best. But if it's sat there for longer than a year, throw it in the trash. Get rid of it, because you may never read it.
I like to think that people are going to think that I'm smart by having it on my shelf.
Okay. Well, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah. So moving on, our next category, we've got royalty and world leaders,
Nice.
which is, it's questions about the Queen, but it's also questions about just leaders that have, well-known leaders throughout history.
Okay.
So question 7, whose embalmed body has been on display in Moscow's Red Square since his death in 1924? And
Wow.
your options are A, Joseph Stalin, B, Nicholas II, C, Nikita Khrushchev, or D, Vladimir Lenin?
Vladimir Lenin, Ilya.
Yeah, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. So yeah,
Put that in the comments if you know what that's from, and we'll get something. We'll get a coffee mug sent your way.
that's a pretty good prize.
Yeah. We did a whole thing where we gave a bunch of coffee mugs.
I don't even have a Crowdpurr coffee mug yet.
Okay. Well, hey, you don't just get one when you
gotta
walk in
earn
the
it,
door.
yeah.
So
Question 7 again. Whose embalmed body has been on display in Moscow's Red Square since his death in 1924? A, Joseph Stalin, B, Nicholas II, C, Nikita Khrushchev, or D, Vladimir Lenin? The answer is D, Vladimir Lenin.
wow. Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah, around 2.5 million people line up to look at his preserved body.
He's just there, preserved, clear glass. You go right up to it.
I believe so, yeah. I
Your
think
breath
it's a
makes a little mark on the glass.
clear coffin,
Okay. Wow. That's interesting.
which is really the way to go.
I think that's a European thing. They're that happens in with some popes and way back in the day. And
I think most leaders, they'll lie in state for a brief amount of time, but not for, almost 100 years now, which is pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed.
Our next royalty and world leaders question is question 8. I love this question. Which former Canadian Prime Minister was said to seek political advice from his dog, crystal balls, and patterns in his shaving cream?
For a minute, I thought you were saying his dog was named Crystal Balls.
Right.
Which, isn't the craziest dog name I've ever heard.
No,
but
I think it's going to be the name of my dog if I get it the next time I get a dog.
So he listened to his dog, he listened to Crystal Balls, and then what was the third thing?
Patterns in shaving cream.
Oh, wow. Okay. We're getting out there.
Which is a very obscure version of reading the tea leaves, I think.
Ah, there you go. Whatever he's having, I'll take some of that.
Yeah, your options are A, Arthur Migan. Probably should have gone over this pronunciation before, but A, Arthur Migan. B, Joe Clark. C, William Lyon Mackenzie King. Or D, Pierre Trudeau. Who's the father of the current Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Yeah, again, which former Canadian Prime Minister was said to seek political advice from his dog, crystal balls, and patterns in shaving cream? A, Arthur Migan. B, Joe Clark. C, William Lyon Mackenzie King. Or D, Pierre Trudeau. The answer is C, William Lyon Mackenzie King.
Wow, okay.
He was called Weird Willie, and he served 3 non-consecutive terms from 1921 to 1948.
Wow. So
And, yeah.
apparently he was, the talking things were right because the people liked him.
For
as their
sure.
leader.
Yeah, they kept electing him, and so he must have been doing something right.
I'm just going to go buy some shaving cream on my way home.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
I have I think the Crystal Ball Shop hopefully will still be open after work today. All right, moving on. So in honor of Wordle, we are having a 5-letter answer game this week, where all of the options and all of the questions involve 5-letter words.
Yeah, it doesn't work exactly like Wordle, but at least it's, it is 5-letter.
It's in the spirit of Wordle.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
sometimes we do that.
Yeah, taking over the world.
Have I told you that it bugs me that the name Wordle is actually 6 letters and not 5? Like, couldn't he have made it like the hipster title without the E, this word L?
You've mentioned it.
Okay.
But I think
you think it's cool.
well, because it's a play on his name, his last name, which is Wardle.
Right.
And he made the game for his wife.
Okay.
So
I just thought that we just would all come together with the 5-letter title.
I
Anyway.
mean, you're not wrong.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So the question 9. Which of these Yiddish words means to be overcome with pride over the actions and accomplishments of someone else? And your answers are A, plots, B, kavel, C, punim, or D, spiel.
I am not hip to Yiddish, so I have no idea.
I know a few of the phrases that have crossed over into popular culture.
What is Yiddish?
Yiddish, I believe, was a language spoken by European Jews
Oh, okay.
prior to World War II.
Got it. So
And I
it's
think
way
it's still,
back,
it's an older language.
Okay, I should know that.
Similar to Hebrew.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, which of these Yiddish words means to be overcome with pride over the actions and accomplishments of someone else? A, plots, or D, spiel? And the answer is kavel. They say, grandparents are known to kavel over their grandchildren's accomplishments, good grades, soccer games, things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
When we were saying familiar with some names. I know punim is a face, typically like a little kid's face. Jewish grandmothers will say, "Look at that little punim,"
okay.
as they pinch the cheeks. Which I've never understood why that was such a big deal. Just let them pinch your cheeks. All right, moving on. So we focused one of the games this week on startups and apps. I think it's the second in our in a series.
Now we're in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think that you should know this one.
Okay.
And it's topical. So question 10. In 2021, which state launched the Excelsior Pass app, which allowed users to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination?
State as in U.S. state?
Which U.S. state, yeah. Sorry, which U.S. state launched the Excelsior Pass app,
Okay.
allowing users to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination?
All right.
You got A, California, B, Florida, C, New Jersey, or D, New York?
I don't know, but I'm going to say New York or California because they seem to be the most progressive with this stuff.
Yeah. Well, the answer is D, New York.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Excelsior is the state motto of New York State.
Oh.
So they just took that Excelsior pass and, yeah.
And people are actually using this and it's working and stuff?
I believe so.
Okay.
And much like the cards, I think that there's a fakery happening.
Yes.
But, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But we don't fake it with our trivia questions,
No,
right?
we don't.
We write those 100% original.
100% original.
Every single week, new games.
And no crossover questions on the games either.
Right.
You're not going to find this question on another game.
Yeah.
So every game is unique and every game is original.
Nice.
All right, ready to keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
We both love Brad Pitt, right?
Yes, very much so.
I think he's a great actor. So this week we've got
And a lot more than that. Anyway, yeah.
yeah, we've got a game with questions about the films of Brad Pitt. So question 11. Which 1992 film co-stars Brad Pitt as hipster human private eye Frank Harris and an animated Kim Basinger as sultry femme fatale Hollywood?
Okay.
Which is not spelled like the town.
Okay.
So your options are A, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, B, Cool World, C, Johnny Suede, or D, Twitch City.
Nice. Good answer options, because I know a couple of those are animated, and I know it's a crossover between live action and animation. So yeah.
There's not a ton of live action and animated movies to pull from.
Yeah.
So you take what you can get.
Yeah. And those are all usually pretty good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one was good.
Yeah.
Too.
So the options again are Who Framed Roger Rabbit, B, Cool World, C, Johnny Suede, or D, Twitch City. And the answer is B, Cool World.
Nice. Yeah.
Which I've never seen.
Yeah, I saw it once a long time ago. I barely remember it, but yeah, I remember it being kind of cool.
Yeah.
So must have not been that cool, or else I would have
Well,
remembered.
I think I was right in the wheelhouse in 1992, a 15-year-old. I feel like that would have been right up my alley,
Yeah.
but I just never saw it. So next Brad Pitt question. Question number 12. Which famed Hollywood...
What's the second rule of Fight Club? Sorry.
The first rule is you do not talk about Fight Club.
The first rule is you don't interrupt the trivia manager while he's doing his trivia.
And the second rule is you don't interrupt the trivia manager when he's doing the questions. Something like that, right?
Yep.
All right, question 12. Which famed Hollywood actor directed the 1992 movie A River Runs Through It, which was one of Brad Pitt's earliest starring roles?
Which I don't think I've seen, and I always get that confused with that other one that he was in right about that time.
Legends of the Fall?
Yeah, those to me are like the same movie. They always have been since, I've never seen either one, which I should, because I do like Brad Pitt. I think his acting's great. But I've never seen either one, and I think of them as both the same thing.
I've never seen either one either.
Okay. Not gonna pound on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which famed Hollywood actor directed the 1992 movie A River Runs Through It? A, Clint Eastwood, B, Dennis Hopper, C, Robert Redford, or D, Paul Newman?
Good answer options. I feel like it's going to be Robert Redford, Paul Newman, something like that.
Yeah, or Clint Eastwood, who's directed 1,000 movies,
Yeah.
so we don't know. But the answer is actually C, Robert Redford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's directed a few. He won an Oscar for directing a movie in 1980, and has continued to direct a few things over the years.
Okay.
So it's not outside his wheelhouse. This next game was a lot of fun to put together, a lot of fun to go over. Classic action figures.
Oh, yeah.
Was the game. This game really brought me back to my childhood. I think that about 90% of the characters featured were in my toy box at one point.
Yep.
So I got really
Agreed.
excited for this one. I'm excited to bring it to everybody here.
This might be my favorite game of the week. I think we talked about that. It's got images in it. It's got touches on a lot of the classic nostalgic action figures that pulls on your heartstrings a little bit. But
All right.
let's
Question
get into it.
13, and this was definitely in my toy box at home. Which planet is home to Shutterfly, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and other My Little Pony
Oh,
characters.
okay. I thought you were going to say, is the question, who is it? Because I was like, I didn't know until you said Rainbow Dash. And because I have daughters, I know that that's My Little Pony. But that is not the question. The question is, what was it again? Sorry.
Which planet is home to Shutterfly, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and other My Little Pony
Ooh,
characters?
deep cut.
Yeah.
Deep, that one cuts deep.
So your options are A, Aquinas, B,
Excuse me?
Aquinas, B, Horsea, let's pronounce that Horsea,
Okay.
B, Marstang, or D, Equestria. Yeah, A, Aquinas, B, Horsea, C, Marstang, or D, Equestria. And like you, as a father of daughter, I was familiar with this when it happened, and the answer is D, Equestria.
Nice.
It is a horse planet.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
that's where the show Friendship is Magic takes place.
And if you're watching this and you want to leave a comment or something, just let us know. It looks like we got a couple over here. Some people are chiming in with the correct answers. Here's a "What's up, Crowdpurr" from James Daughtery out there. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, James.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be here every single week, kind of going over the new trivia games. So yeah, what's up, James? Okay.
Yeah, moving on. Another classic action figures question here.
Okay.
Question 14. Which long-running animated series was actually created by Playmates Toys in 1987 to help launch their line of corresponding action figures? So they made the cartoon to help sell the toys.
Yeah, so it doesn't always work that way where it's a great cartoon or comic and then they come out
Right.
with the toy line. Sometimes it's toys first and then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your options are A, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, B, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, C, Thundercats, or D, Voltron.
Okay.
I owned all of those
Yeah.
toys.
I think I remember opening those on Christmas, or one was in the stocking or
Right.
something like that. I was a big TMNT fan. So.
I owned all of the toys and I watched all of those
Nice,
cartoons.
Nice.
So again, your options are He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, B, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, C, Thundercats, D, Voltron. And the answer is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like your favorite toy.
Yes.
Yeah, Playmates Toys was a tiny little company from California who had never really made anything like that, but they were the only company to express interest in making the toys.
The rest is history.
But they knew that they needed something to promote it. And in 1987, TMNT was not the juggernaut that it is today.
Yeah.
So they created the cartoon.
But that original cartoon was so amazing. It's better than that original was better than the one that's out now. Like it's it's simplified.
For sure.
The animation isn't as good. That cartoon was so amazing.
The cartoon was so amazing, in fact, that the toys sold 1.1 billion in the first 4 years.
Yeah, some of those went to you and I. So.
Yeah. And they would probably be worth a lot of money if I still knew where they were. But I have no idea.
All right, is this final question?
This is the final question. Question 15.
Thank you for bearing with us so far. We hope you've enjoyed it. And before you get to this question, in the future, we are probably going to torque these up so that they're actually live games, so you can play these using Crowdpurr each week, and we might have prizes and make it a contest and do some really cool stuff. So definitely like and subscribe, and we'll talk about Crowdpurr news here every week.
If you have ideas for topics for games, we'd love to hear that as well.
For sure. We're always open to users' feedback for topics and whatnot. So, all right, with that, let's...
Before I ask this final question from the game, I have a question for you.
Please.
Do I do the impression while I ask this question?
Yes.
Okay, I'm doing the impression.
Okay.
So this question, it's our last question then, question 15. It's coming from classic movie quotes.
Okay.
Which was a fun game as well to put together. So I'm going to do the impression.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. So Harry Callahan's iconic line, "Go ahead, make my day," is first delivered in which movie from the Dirty Harry franchise? Your options are A, Sudden Impact, B, Magnum Force, C, The Deadpool, or D, Dirty Harry.
Nice impression there, by the way.
I don't know if it was very good.
Well,
it was more like I think that's what Clint Eastwood sounds like now.
Oh. I appreciate you going there.
But yeah. So, Go Ahead, Make My Day is first delivered in which film from the Dirty Harry franchise? Sudden Impact, B, Magnum Force, C, The Deadpool, or D, Dirty Harry?
I think I've seen a little bit of one Dirty Harry film, so which I'm not happy.
I know that Jim Carrey is in one of them in like a tiny role,
really?
like before he became famous.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Lip syncing to Welcome to the Jungle, actually.
No, that's very cool.
That's the only clip I've ever seen. I've never seen any of the full films. And this really surprised me because I think that most people would assume that it was Dirty Harry, but the answer is actually Sudden Impact.
Oh wow.
A, Sudden Impact.
Isn't that a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie?
It might be.
Yeah.
I think that's the one where he has to stop the bomb at the hockey game during the Stanley Cup.
Something like that.
And he has to become the goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sudden Impact was actually the fourth in the series of the Dirty Harry films.
Okay.
And he didn't say the most famous line from that movie until the fourth film in the franchise.
Very
which
cool.
doesn't seem to be how they would do it now. Everybody wants to front load all the fun stuff into the first film. They're not going to wait until the fourth to coin a phrase like that.
It's a different game today than it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's the last question of this particular game this week.
Nice. Speaking of different games, thank you so much, Philip, for walking us through the best of the best of this week's new games. We launch new games every single week on Crowdpurr.com for you to do for your trivia fans. Crowdpurr.com is the best hosting trivia app in the world, and we have a ton of free content on there every week and free bingo games, so be sure to check that out if you haven't, and do subscribe and like the show, which is also going to be a podcast, and we will keep on working hard to make this awesome every single week for you. And with that said, Philip, anything else on your mind before we sign off here?
No, this was a blast.
We hit the half-hour mark right on the nail.
Right
maybe we'll go a little faster in the future. Let us know how it's going.
Yeah,
you're feeling good though?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you did great.
And like Ross said, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you. We'll see you later.